Okay, so this is the general form of a trinomial, ax squared plus bx plus c. We come across this all the time. As soon as you see an x squared in any expression or equation, you're thinking quadratic. It's trinomial. Okay, and our job here is to factorise it. And I'm just going to start with x squared minus x minus 6. Clearly, a is positive 1, b is minus 1, and c is negative 6. Let's get rid of that. Okay. We are going to start with the c term. The c term is minus 6, and we're going to factor, what are the factor pairs of negative 6? So 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Now they have to multiply together to get negative 6. So those first terms could be 0, or the second terms could be negative. Okay. We are going to select the factor pair that adds together to get the b term, which is negative 1. So 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So we're going to start with that pair. X squared. We are going to add 2x and subtract 3x. And we are going to replace that minus x with plus 2x minus 3x. You can see that our negative 6 is still there, and our positive x squared is still there. So technically I haven't changed anything because 2x minus 3x is still minus x. Okay, that's what we need that for, is to tell us how to split that up. This is like our 4-term factorisation from our last video. So I'm going to ignore the last terms and factorise the first two terms, and it's the x that's common. I'm going to take x out of both of those, and I'm going to leave x plus 2. See that bracket? That bracket has to be the second bracket, doesn't it? What needs to come out of these two terms to leave that? Well, I've got to get the negative 3 out, don't I? And then I've got the two brackets that are the same. So the x plus 2 stays there, and left over there is the x minus 3. Now, if you notice there's a pattern, see what I've circled here? There's a positive 2 and a negative 3. Only where the a is a positive 1 can we skip some working. We can skip all of that. We can do our factor pairs, work out what adds to get the negative b, or whatever the b is, negative 1 in this case, and we go straight to our answer. Okay? We are allowed to do that only when the coefficient of x squared is positive 1. Okay, next. Our first checking point here is to see if there's anything common between all of them. Can you see here that there's a 3 in all of them? So I'm going to go, I can pull a 3 out straight away. X squared minus x minus 6. Then I'm factorising this in the brackets without the 3. Because my coefficient is a positive 1, I'm going to get my c, which is negative 6. This looks familiar, doesn't it? And either the first one's negative or the second one's negative. I'm going to circle the one that adds this b term, so I've got to get to negative 1. Remember, because my coefficient is positive 1 inside that bracket, I can go straight to my answer. So I'm going to factorise this to two brackets, x plus 2 and x minus 3, which is exactly the same as that last one that I rubbed out before. Nice and easy, eh? Okay. What happens when the coefficient of x squared's not 1 and can't come off and make it easy like that one? So you can see here that I can't get rid of this 5 because it's not a common factor. So this number out here actually isn't just c. when the coefficient of x squared is 1, it's actually 1 times negative 6 is what gives me negative 6. So here, it's actually 5 multiplied by negative 2. So it's technically a times c. So it's negative 10. I just wanted to show you that. So negative 10, 1, 10, 2, 5, 1, 10, 2, 5. Remember, I'm listing these twice because it's a negative, because either the first one's negative or the second one's negative, and I'm wanting the two that add up. I'm wanting the factor pair that adds up to get positive 3. Minus 2 plus 5 is 3. That tells me minus 2x plus 5x minus 2. Remember what I did that last time? See how I haven't changed anything? Minus 2x plus 5x is my 3x. So technically in that row I haven't done anything. Let's just get rid of that blue. Now that we've got our 4 terms, we're going to ignore those last 2 terms and factorise that. I can take my x out, which will leave 5x minus 2. That bracket needs to be exactly the same, so I'm ignoring that and just drawing my bracket in. And then I'm saying, well, what has to come out of 5x minus 2 to leave 5x minus 2? It's a positive 1. Then I've got my brackets. And when I pull my brackets out, I'm left with an x plus 1. So if I expanded these brackets, I would get that. So takeouts, don't forget this is a multiplied by c. You can only take my shortcut when the coefficient of x squared is 1. Other than that, you're going to have to go through the full process. Good job. Easier than you think, eh?